Wassail and welcome to Tarot in a Hammock. So we're here to do. Oh, I've got to keep swinging. It's so lovely. I hope you can see me. So we're here to do the exit doorway of the solar eclipse that we've been in. Oh, I love this. And so let's just begin. I ordered a tarot deck, as you all know. It hasn't turned up, but I really don't want to go on about that. It was very much tarot energy, tunnel energy of the eclipse. And it's had a positive outcome because it means I've got on with something else, which is to continue my designing of my own tarot deck. So it'll be a while. But also, I went to the park this morning and I did this reading and it was gorgeous. And it didn't record, so we're blaming Mercury retrograde for that one. I don't know if I can keep it swinging with my own body. But anyway, look, let's just move in to Odin and the Nine Realms. Obviously, my own tarot deck that I'm working on is all based on Norse mythology. So I've actually been spending the last few days, aside from dealing with my father and mother's estate, which makes it sound very grand. I've been learning how to write with runes. So we shall see what gives. I've got the Odin deck. I feel like I've got a deeper understanding of things that can be found within these cards. So let's just go for it and see what we get. I'm going to keep pushing myself because it's really nice to just have a gentle rocking motion. So, beautiful people, how's your eclipse tunnel been? Mine's been very difficult. I had a lovely chat with Janice. Oh, look, gifts. Niflheimr. So we have gifts. I want to say like being given new clothes, but what I mean by that is being given a new suit of armor, a new energy frequency that you have to choose for yourself as we exit, so that you're setting an intention of where your future will be going. So what else do we have? I've got a slow hammock. I need to get the hammock going. Oh dear, little things please little minds, as they say. Oh, and Ing. Look, that's exactly it. Ing is talking about birthing a new thing. You're in an egg here. Your new you, this new armor that you're going to step out through the eclipse tunnel with, is all about deciding your new DNA code almost, or your new biological code moving forwards, the new energy frequencies that you want to work on. So in Nidalvellir, which is part of Svartalheimr, these are the elves that make the magical gift. So I'm being told, because there's the doorway at the back. So I'm being told that you need to write a list almost. You don't have to write it, but a lot of us like to write a list. I don't, I'll be honest. So you need to talk with the dwarves. This is the darkness. They live at the roots of the Yggdrasil tree, and they provide the nutrients to make life in the bright light world more agreeable to people. So I've also got Titchy Toth, and I've mixed it with my Lenormand deck to provide us with just some new messages to come through. It's warm out here. I've been sitting inside because Portuguese houses are very cleverly designed so that when it's really, really hot, they're not. But it is lovely and warm out here, and it's nearly 5 p.m. So what can you tell us about Nidalvellir? It's the home of the Dark Elves, and there's also Light Elves that live in Elfamir, and that's kind of like the ultimate heaven. So we really are saying, go into your shadows, go in and work out with the elves what you want to make, what you would like to make of yourself, and the elves will help you to create the gifts that you need. So we have, oh look, we've got 110. We love a 110. So we've got the Ace of Swords and we've got the Ten of Pentacles, bringing a new truth to the fullness of life, to the world, bringing clarity to part of your character. And this is very much that energy of, like, I want to say, I'm seeing this lovely crescent sun, because if you live in Canada, there's a whole area that goes across the Great Lakes and up, and if you live there at dawn at about 5 in the morning, 5:30 to about 5:40, the sun will rise over the horizon and it will look like a crescent sun. I mean, how unbelievably beautiful is that? But we're bringing clarity and truth. And look, they're working on a gift in the card. And what is the gift? It's a gift. Oh, I can't. It's the gift of truth. Your truth. You have to work with the Dark Elves to create something wonderful for yourself. And I've got this energy on this card. This one came out in the reading I did in the park for you all. And it's talking very much about a transformative frequency around Mercury. And Mercury is very much a planet of sort of gender fluidity. So let's just ask for a few more cards on the Nidalvellir and, well, so far they're giving us just one type. Oh my gosh, the beautiful. So the Five of Wands, which is Saturn in Leo, which obviously Saturn's not in Leo at the moment and won't be for a very long time. But the point of it is dealing with Saturn and dealing with old energies that you hold as your ego. So we're not reading it as an astrological movement, but more as an astrological aspect. At the moment, Saturn is in Aquarius, which is air energy. This is the Ace of Air. And it's talking about coming into a new form, transforming your ego in a huge way. The 6, the Lover's card. This is Gemini. This is where the sun is. You can rebirth yourself in this wonderful new Gemini sun eclipse energy. Solar Saros Series 147. I'm just saying 147 because I get the feeling that I need to keep an eye on the numbering, because I think we might see it come out. Not promising, but it's really nice when a little bit of magic comes in. And then we have these two cards, which are kind of representing the two doorways. So we had this moon emotional frequency as we entered the lunar eclipse in Sagittarius, and there's something about this card that I can't get the sun on it. I have to do the sun there. You just can't see them very big because they go, that's exactly what the eclipse tunnel did. It sort of took us all into a darkness, and we've got to re-emerge. So we've got to come from that back into the sunlight. And this Queen of Wands, she is the blossoming of fire energy. But what I love about her is she's talking about this frequency that turned up in this card. She holds her hand over the cheetah, who represents the raw masculine ego. And we've all got a raw masculine ego, men and women. It's just an energy frequency. But it's this, I'm still seeing that both her crown and this ace are doing that energy of this crescent moon, sun, rising over the horizon. A new dawn is coming. And I immediately want to sing a Nina Simone song there, but I'm not going to risk it. And then you have 21. The world, the cosmos, the universe. And this also has Saturn frequency to it. So it's saying we're emerging into a new dawn that is Age of Aquarius, created Saturn stellium in Aquarius, and everything's moving towards that. All of the pieces are beginning to form and roam and build around that energy frequency. So let's go back to the Odin and let's see what other messages there are from the Odin and the Nine Realms cards. Oh, look, Baldur somewhere. I can't put the cards too close, they go into shadow. So Baldur is obviously the light within us. He's the shiny one. He's the most blessed of all the gods. He's the one so loved. He's also the one that's completely protected, because there's a prophecy that he would die, and so his mother, Frigg, goes around every single living creature, plant, tree, and she begs them all not to harm him. And in the Norse mythology, they all sort of think it's a really funny game to kind of throw stones at him, and all the stones miss because they don't want to hurt him. So he walks in a divine protection. So if you work for your gift with the dwarves, as you exit through this solar eclipse portal, you will feel protected. If you can work out what it is that you would like as your new code frequency as you move forwards into the next phase of your life. So we have a hidden card, Fe and Gipt. So FG. So Fe is prosperity. So moving into a new energy of prosperity, a protected frequency of prosperity, because Gipt is about the union of consciousness and physicality, divine masculine, divine feminine. So connecting to this new energy of your inner light and stepping forwards. It's like Spirit has built a protective realm around you here in Baldur, and that allows a space between here where Spirit has opened the energy so that prosperity and abundance can move through your body and unite within you. It's beautiful. Oops. So there's one hidden one, which is the King of Pentacles. And again, the King of Pentacles, which you can't see very well in the darkness, he is like Baldur. He has a shield, and from within the shield is resonating new light energy. But the card that fell first, I need to just have a little swing for a minute, because there was lovely light there. I tested this out and it was lighting up the cards. Maybe if I bring them in, the sun's up there, so how do I get the sun to shine? No, it won't. So this card is the Chariot, and the Chariot is, that's it, 147. Because the Knights are Kings in this deck, so they're card 14 and there's the 7. This is the Saros Series 147. I knew it was going to come out. I hadn't thought about Kings representing 14. But this particular Chariot is really the energy of retuning. In the center of this Thoth card, there is a big symbol across the middle, and it's got this frequency of retuning your insides, retuning your emotions, creating new energy. And the sphinx that are pulling this chariot at the moment are stone. They're not moving because it's an eclipse tunnel. It's a space in which we can effectively work out what is our new light and how we want to move forwards. So sorry. I'm getting more and more lit. I'm becoming more Baldur and shiny during this reading, but the cards are slightly hiding from view. So, and then we have another little pile that came down here. So we have the card of peace, the Two of Swords, to come back into a central balance, and that's echoing Gipt. The energy of the runic magic that is two energies intersecting each other, creating all like the Wonder Woman symbol as she puts her gauntlets up. And that's really interesting because there are magic gauntlets that Thor wears that increases strength. So it's almost like the dwarves are offering you a new code frequency to help increase your strength to move into the real world. So it's sword energy, it's air energy, it's a new frequency that you're stepping out into. Remember, this is an eclipse in Gemini, it's an air sign, so it emboldens you with new clarity, new thoughts. And the next card is the Sun. I mean, we are just endlessly getting cards that talk about light and sunshine. Baldur, the Sun. So you're moving into a new energy, and this particular Sun card has every single zodiac sign around the outside of it, and it has the Gemini twins at the bottom, and all the other signs are all the way around the outside. And there's a huge transformative celebration in the figures on this card. And then what is it that we're dealing with? We're dealing with old earth energies that were blocking the air. So here we have the Eight of Swords, and the Eight of Swords is interference, but this interference is lining up now. It's got Jupiter in Gemini, and so it's talking about how the energy of Jupiter, who is about to go retrograde and move from Pisces back into Aquarius to join Saturn in the stellium tear, is beginning to line up the reordering, because this card 21 here from the Lenormand deck is about an immovable mountain. That was Earth Epoch, that was the old energy. So even though the great mutation took place last year, we're still in a transitional period. Eclipses have an energy of 6 months after they happen, moving towards the next eclipse. So we're preparing ourselves for an eclipse that's coming later on the 4th of December, and that will bring further changes. But at the moment, this is talking about just moving past the barriers. In this card, the figures, there's a couple of yaks and bison type things, and they're moving past a temple. And the temple is the Janus Geminus. It's the Vaticinium that we have all been walking through for these last 2 weeks, and finding an alternative route around. The mountain doesn't go away. You don't get Thor's Mjolnir and just smash the mountain to pieces. The mountain is part of our past. It's part of our treasured memories and part of our treasured traumas, because they should be treasured in some way. But this is about moving around it. Just leave it in place. Just see a new route to move past it. And then it ends with the Four of Swords and the Knight of Swords. So we've got in this, we're getting a lot of king frequency here. So this is totally air energy. So totally air energy. We're looking at a healing of our thoughts, a change of thoughts, to unblock what was once a problem and move into a new frequency. I need to remember that that's the best place to hold the cards. So there, the King of Air and the Four of Swords, bringing a healing, bringing a clarity. We're being gifted with so much of the air energy frequency in this moment as we move through that portal. I've gone very dark now. So, oh no, we need the Odin again. So let's have Odin with a swing. Although don't suggest that to Odin, because I don't think he'd be very impressed. Although I did pick up on a lovely story where Loki transforms himself into a female horse to get round a particular oath that's been sworn, and he entices this guy who is a giant horse to kind of run after him, and he's absent for a year. And when he comes back, he's got an 8-legged horse that he gave birth to. He doesn't like to talk about it. So Odin's not swinging is the point I'm making here. So let's have a little bit of swingle energy. What else would you like to say, please? Ran is here. So Ran, she lives at the bottom of the seabed. She throws the best parties with Azir, her husband. Aegea, sorry. She's always about trapping emotions. She has this net and she uses it often to drown people. And it's a little bit like there have been times when we feel like we're drowning. I'm so sorry. I'll bring the cards back here into the energy where there's a little bit of like, oh look, I'll tell you something else. The wind's just blown and that Four of Swords started to spin round and round and round. I think I need to put those under there or they might blow away. So Ran is shaking free old emotions. She's changing the frequency with us so that we can move forwards into Cancer. I'm being told Sun in Cancer, that's where the sun's heading now. So what else would you like to say, please, cards, about the solar exit? I get the feeling that's, oh, it's I thought it was tear, but it's ear. And again, I'll put her back there. So this is the healer. She is often called a Valkyrie, but in actual fact she is a Norn, and she lives at the base of the Yggdrasil tree, and she is the master healer of both the physical and the spiritual. So she works a lot with herbs that grow in the field. They're in the Physic garden in the area around Mimir's well. And Mimir's well is her brother's well, which is the well of knowledge, which Odin asks and seeks knowledge from. And so he asks Mimir if he can drink of the well, and Mimir says, I have to have a gift. And he says, you can have any gift you want. He says, I want your eye. So Odin hangs upside down for 9 days for each of the realms, and he gives up his eye. He cuts it out with a knife and puts it in the well, and then he drinks, and that's where the runes come out. Now Odin claims to have knowledge of everything, the All-Father, but actually there is that sense that I've been channeling while doing this work, that Odin was given the runes because the runes can, like the cards, can come together to give you information so that you can understand things about life and what's next to be dealt with. But it's not about being given all the knowledge. You can't hold all the knowledge of everything. Only Source can do that, and that's what the well represents, Source frequency. So she takes the water from the well here, and she adds herbs, and she's like a temperance frequency. She's changing the power and the energy of the well water so that we can be well when we work with air. So have a talk. This is an emotional healing because we've got Ran and air working together, a goddess and a Norn, to create something new for us. So let's grab the cards that are all sliding underneath my leg now. I thought the hammock was a good idea. But it's leaving us in the darkness when we're heading into the light. So maybe I need to move back and hope that I don't fall off backwards. And I can lean back and we can hold the cards here. So, what would you like to tell us, Rananier? Oh, we've got a Lenormand. I'm going to give myself a little push. We've got Anchor. We've got card 35. And I'm also being shown June because it's a 6 as well. I'm being told how we need to break free from the anchor of the past. That's lovely. Ran. I need to hold Ran up here to somehow find some light to shine on the cards. Ran and Air are working to help you break the chains of your past. That mountain that we're walking around. I'm being told to think about how the giant wolf Fenrir was bound and unable to move until the right moment of Ragnarok. This is like our own personal Ragnarok. This is the time when you break the bonds that hold you secure to things and move forwards. So, any other message, please, from Ran and Air? So, we have the Hierophant, which you can't see. You're just going to have to believe me. Oh, look, you almost can now, look. So, this is about having a spiritual epiphany about your own self-worth. So, deciding what it is that you feel is your new frequency moving forwards. And about loving yourself. We often look at this card as an energy, the Hierophant, of being a kind of restrictive energy of authority coming upon you. But the energy of this card is changing back to a new form, back to an old form that feels new to us. But it's this energy of self-love. It's the Hierophantrix. It's coming to terms with who you are and where you want to move in life. And it's coming along with the card 6, which has got Neptune frequency to it. And that's interesting because Neptune's got a really big role in this whole stellium tear in Aquarius, because Neptune is the last planet to reach that stellium frequency. And that's what they're doing. These two cards are actually representing the old authoritarian order being cleared away. They are about self-love, but the Neptune aspect has brought it into a new format. Clouds, there's an air dragon blowing away the dark clouds, working for the collective. And actually, they're saying it's actually, this energy is really sucking in the air. It's not blowing it away to scatter it. It's pulling it inside itself to completely transform and change it. So the old authorities that are the cornerstones of our society are being transformed by the energies as we move past this frequency. So that's those. Let's just ask for another set while I have a little bit of another rock and a swing. I feel like I'm going to knock the microphone over in a minute. It's so lovely. I know you can't see, but you can just listen and believe me. So, what else would the cards of Odin like to say? I need another little push. There's one. And there's two. So, let's see what we've got. Oh, we've got 3. It's so beautiful. It's the sun. Sol. the sun. We're going, what are we doing? We're doing an eclipse doorway. Here is the sun racing in its chariot through the doors. It's coming towards us, this energy frequency. And then the next card is Midgard. And on Midgard, we have the sun shining down on the earth again in a new frequency. And where's that taking us? It's bringing the energy of Vanahamir. We've got a lot of realms going on here. We had Niflheimir at the beginning. There's a seismic cosmic changing in the realmic structure, bring that word up, that's going on around us. So what does Vanahamir and Midgard mean? For me, having been channeling with Norse legends for a while, Asgard is the realm of Odin. And that's very much rigid, kind of quite cruel, structured 12 frequency. And Vanahamir is 13 frequency. Vanir, in most Scandinavian languages, means friends. These are the other gods. These are the other gods that live in a borderless world. They don't need all these protective structures. They don't live in fear. They don't live in this notion of losing their machismo. They're quite comfortable in their kindness. And it is about that energy of humankind. And it's the sun is saying to us, we're bringing a new energy to the world. Yes, at the moment, you can look at things going on in the world around you and feel slightly afeared about things, because that Asgard frequency that Neptune gives to the elites and the leaders and people who have that control over others is a delusion. It's an illusion. And that won't change in a lot of their minds for quite a while, unfortunately, because Neptune doesn't reach the stellium tear of the collective for about 180 years. But the point is, all the other planets will be working to change that, and Neptune will just keep bringing up these energies to burst bubbles with his gases, because there's very much an energy of gas around Neptune. I'm not saying he's got wind, but we are in air energy. So what does Vanahamir and the sun want to tell us? So we have, oh look, this is so lovely. We've got the Eight of Cups, Saturn in Pisces, which it will move to at some point soon. And that's about clearing the energy of toxicity for Neptune. I'm really getting that sense of us being aware of the toxicity of the world around us, of the seas around us. And that has to change, because the toxicity is blocking the harvest. This is the seven of, well, how did that, there we go. That's the seven of pentacles, which is the failure of the harvest, because we have an indolent attitude towards the toxicity of the world. But we were meant to. We were meant to go through this so that we can change and see the new energy of the sun coming out in the age of Aquarius. And though came with card 33, the key, the new birth of something from within the cosmic egg. It's really lovely, beautiful energy. And then we have three others. Oh, it's so beautiful. We've got card 28, a completion of Mars frequency. Now, Mars won't reach the Aquarius stellium tear until the 5th of April next year. So he's a bit of a rogue bugger at the moment. And this is the card of man in the Lenormand deck. Okay? And this card, he has a peacock feather above his head. He carries a weasel, which is associated with mistrustful, sneaky kind of energies. And he looks deeply suspicious, this guy. And he's sitting in a window of darkness. And that's a little bit like when we've been through this tunnel. They're not going to get through this tunnel into their true frequency, because they're not resonating at anything other than that Neptune delusional energy. So we have that, and then we have the Ten of Swords. Swords again, more air energy. I think we've had nearly every, apart from the Queen hasn't turned up, but we've had so many swords in this reading. And this is about cutting through into a new space, a new frequency being created. So the 8 swords of that interference are shown around this card, but there's 2 new ones piercing through, and they're coming through us, through our hearts, a new understanding of how to work with emotions. Oh, and then the last card is the Ace of Emotions. So a new flowing frequency of loving humankind understanding that's coming out. So I'm just going to ask for one final loading card. So can we please have one final loading card? Oh, 2 final loading cards. The Bilrost, which is the bridge that moves around the realms, all over the 9 realms, is bringing down a new energy. There's a bigger picture to be seen that's coming down from the heavens, and what's it doing? It's bringing Bjarkan. It's bringing a brand new birth. We're moving into a new epoch. We're moving into new energy. We just have to hold the frequency of trust, hold a frequency of love, and don't let the fear be there. So as we exit this solar eclipse tunnel, it's really important to go back to the first part of this reading, talk with the elves of Niflheimir about the gifts that you need to help you get through the next part of these 6 months that are coming, as this energy will deliver that frequency to us. But try and decide what it is. Sit with the sunshine, sit with those moments, and choose how to move forwards in a more kind and loving and open frequency, because it's coming to everybody. It'll take a while, but it is coming to everybody. I know, I just said that again. It'll take a while. Look at me with my learning patience finally. Anyway, beautiful people, I'm just going to have a little bit more of a rock on my hammock, and I'm going to say to you all, have a lovely time, and wassail, and beautiful, beautiful blessings from the sun to all of you. Wassail.